Good morning, everyone. Let's start off. So open your camps. Yeah. So last thing, I was giving some examples. Hope everyone revised the notes. Let's do some problems based on this. Everyone should keep your cams on. We have a disk of mass and radius r. This is the center. This is center of mass. This is point A. Find IA. These are three solid spheres. Mass m and radius r. Find I. Put on the questions. Try them. I'll give you 3-4 minutes. You should remember your results. If you don't remember the results, you won't be able to solve. Rushabh said cams on. So whatever we are doing today, right? Moment of inertia, you have it for the Sunday exam. What is 27th answer? See. This distance is how much? Arey, I didn't give the distance, right? No one asked me also. What are you guys doing? R by 4. Without that, how are you solving? Solve. I'll give you a minute now.
Nine mr square by 16.
Okay. So remember the parallax theorem, IA is I center of mass plus md square. So I center of mass for the disk is mr square by 2. So same, this is r by 4. That would be mr square half plus 1 by 16. 9 mr square by 16. Okay. What about this guy? 3 solid spheres. See, 28. Like I told you many times, it's like a scalar. You can just add it up. So it is like this, like this, like this. Makes sense. They about the center for a solid sphere. What is the formula? 2 by 5 mr square. Hope you remember the result. About the center solid sphere is 2 by 5 mr square. So this was center of mass. So this was how much? This was r, na? 2 by 5 mr square plus parallax theorem. This also, this was the center of mass. You want about this point A. So 2 by 5 mr square plus mr square. So the moment of inertia would be 2 by 5 mr square, 7 by 5 mr square, 7 by 5 mr square. That would be 16 by 5 mr square. Check out any doubts in this thing, please ask me. So you can treat each sphere separately, find each sphere amount of inertia and just add them up. For the upper sphere, it is passing through the center. For bottom two spheres, it is passing through the tangent. If I name them now, A, B, C. This is for A, this is for B, and this is for C. So IA, IB, IC, add them separately. Check it out. Any doubts on this thing, please ask me. Clear. Next thing. Turn the page. It's a triangular frame. It's not a sheet, it's a frame. ML, ML, ML. Made of 3 identical rods. O is the centroid. Find IO perpendicular to plane. Meaning the side view now would look like this. So this is cross meaning into the plane. The axis is into the paper. Get this thing? It's a good one. Again, you should know the results for your, you know, rods and everything. If you see the booklet, right? In the booklet, you have 3 pages of all different shapes. I don't know whether you have seen it or not. Mm-hmm. How to do? See. Can I do like this? I'll take one rod, okay? This is O. Now, for this rod, where is the center of mass here? Let's take for each rod, okay? This is the perpendicular distance, no? How much is the perpendicular distance? A by 2 root 3. This thing we did multiple times, huh? You should mug up by now. The centroid divides this ratio in the ratio of 2:1. This will be 2/3 of the height. This will be 1/3 of the height. So smug up this. We did this thing in torque also. Then what about IO then? I center of mass plus MD square. I center of mass is ML square by 12. Remember? For a rod passing through the center. M D का place में A2 root 3 whole square. That would be ML square by 6. But there are 3 rods, no? 3 into I naught. Since there are 3 rods. So that will be ML square by 2. Makes sense? So this into 3. Because for all the rods, if you see now, the perpendicular distance is same. This is a perpendicular distance, perpendicular distance, perpendicular distance. If you just find for one rod and multiply into 3, you'll get the answer. Check it out. Ask me if you're confused.
Sir, can you show the previous page?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Hmm.
so why did you apply for center of mass ml square by 12? We will apply that formula, sir, md square for distance d.
तो स्लीपिंग क्या एक्सिस कैसा है यहाँ पे इस तरफ ना पासिंग थ्रू द रॉड दिस केस ये है ना पासिंग थ्रू द रॉड ये सब पैरेलल नहीं है रॉड का एक्सिस isn't it? It's perpendicular ना yeah. Let's see one more. Turn in the page. Square plate about the corner. Meaning it looks like this about this corner. Hope you got the diagram. Square plate about the corner. Find mode of inertia. Get it. Everyone keep your cams on. Any answers? A minute. Again, go back and revise. Square ka formulas. You should remember all this stuff. Where is the center of mass? At the center. Show you. See. This is the center of mass. How much is that? ma square by 6. Now that result you need to mug up. And this is a perpendicular distance. Agreed? How much is that? A by root 2, half of the diagonal. This is your D, na? Are you getting it? What's the distance between the center and the diagonal? The center and the corner, half of the diagonal, na? What is square ka half diagonal? A root 2 by 2. A by root 2. Doesn't make sense. So then IA would be ICOM plus MD square. ICOM is MA square by 6. MA by root 2 whole square. 2 by 3 MA square. Check it out. Ask me if there's any confusion here.
How do you know that will be the perpendicular distance?
Okay. What else it will be?
Sorry sir, can you repeat?
What else can it be? देखो ना, ये ऊपर से देखो ना, ये 2 points ना both are parallel, right? ये है ना distance between them. What is the distance between 2 points?
हाँ ये है, but I thought that will be 45 degree now.
ये 45 ना रे, इसमें 45 है, ये 90 है. Got it? कौन सा लाइन से देख रहे हो? उससे पे है ना? All clear with this thing. Next one. L-shaped rod. Mass and length L. Mass and length L. This is point A. Cross meaning into the plane, meaning this is rotating like this L shape. Are you getting how it is oscillating? Find IA. Yeah. Any answers? Remember this thing, when there are multiple things, you just need to find for each shape separately and add them. So how do you add them? Think I'll give you a minute note, and I'll just show you one thing. You can do like this na L shape ko. This rod plus this rod. So where is A? A is here for this rod. A is here for this rod. So what is the perpendicular distance here? So this is fine. So this is the center of mass. This is the perpendicular distance. This is the center of mass. What is the perpendicular distance? This na. Got it? You should always shift it from center of mass. And this is L by 2 and this is L. Right angle triangle. From there you can find D. Now try. I'll give you 2 minutes again. So if you can find for this rod and this rod and add them, that will be the answer. show you. See, what is for this guy? ML square by 12. You actually know the result. Plus ML by 2 whole square. This would be ML square by 3. What is this D? L square by 4. Root 5 by 12. This would be again what? About center of mass ML square by 12 plus M root 5 L by 2 whole square. That would multiply 3 and 3, 15 plus 1, 16, 4 by 3 ml square. So your answer would be 5 ml square by 3. Clear? Okay, next thing, turn in the page. Let's see a little tough one. This thing came in JE 2004. Old question. You have an half ring. Mass M and radius R. This is point A. A is on the top. This is the center. Are you able to visualize how it is? It's like, you know, your calendar is there. How will your calendar go? Like this, na? It will slide on the wall. Is it? The ring is also sliding. Think of it like this. Nail is there. Put a tongue cleaner on it. Are you able to visualize now? So if you push the tongue cleaner, what will happen? It will rotate like this, na? It's kind of like that. It's a thing kept on the nail. So find moment of inertia about that point. I'll give 3 minutes. Let's see how many of you will get this. So you have an half ring of mass M radius R. Find moment of inertia about A. And I hope you remember the result we derived last time for an arc. For an arc, the moment of inertia is independent of theta. It's always mr square. mr square, mr square, mr square. Try. Other scams on केवल कितने कारण said first of all, what is about the center? How much is this? mr square, no? Simple reason, if you see, right, all are at same distance, r. So mr square. Then where is the center of mass? The center of mass is not the center. What is the center mass of an half ring, people? Now that's what. Center of mass results you don't know, so you're gone. Anyone? Center of mass ka result 2r by 5. For an half ring, the center of mass is 2r by 5 from center. This is point A. Meaning this distance is r minus 2r by 5. That means most people here tell you what is the mistake they do. They do like this. IA, they're at I center plus mr square. But the formula is not I center. It is I center of mass. Are you getting my point? And center of mass is not the center. Clear? So that's the thing. Center is not the center of mass. And parallax theorem is valid only when you use from center of mass. So this is what you have to do. I center is I center of mass plus m. The distance is 2r by pi whole square. What is IA? IA is also I center of mass. Basically, you do everything from center of mass plus m into distance between center of mass and this. Check out these two equations. Ask me if there's any confusion on these two equations. I center will be I center of mass plus this distance square. IA is I center of mass plus this distance square. So the parallax theorem, right, is valid only from center of mass. If you take center of mass plus distance between them. Here I know I center ka value. I don't know I center of mass ka value. Check it out. Then what we do? Subtract them because I don't want center of mass. So I center minus IA m into 4r square by pi square m into r minus 2r by pi whole square. I center is mr square. This would be mr square 4 by pi square minus 1 minus 4 by pi square plus 4 by pi. Just expanded it a minus b whole square. I took out r common. This and this gets cancelled. We get IA is mr square. Shift this thing this side. That's your answer. See, once you got the equations, it is just a matter of subtracting and solving. And this was JEE 2004 question, pretty old. If it is 14, 15 years back, they could ask now also. This is slightly complicated than what we did so far. The main catch in the problem is, and trust me, there will be an option, I center plus mr square. 2 mr square, there will be an option. Most people will mark that and come. But you're forgetting the point, you can use parallax theorem only from center of mass. You can't use it from anywhere. Put that up. Let me give you one more similar one. You guys can give it a try. How was the Sunday paper? Easy, moderate. All right. Last Sunday corrections were done, so do check your marks for that also. Play with this. Next thing. Next one. same question, but it's a solid hemisphere. Instead of an half ring, I took a hemisphere. Find IA. Center, no? Let's do this thing. Meaning, see, the axis is like this. Find I center and IA. The axis is into the plane. Get that? 3 minutes. Let's see what you'll get.
Sir,
Yeah.
can you previous page?
What?
Previous page, sir.
Clear. First of all, what about I center? Anyone got that part? See, the catch here is with this hemisphere, can I do like this? This point A is there now. I'll break this into 2 pieces. You're getting? I'll break every point into two pieces. Every point is broken, is divided into 2 pieces, and it's placed on the other side. Did the perpendicular distance change? Did the perpendicular distance change? No, no. Remember, we tell you every time, moment of inertia may, as long as you keep the distance same, the moment of inertia doesn't change. Meaning, suppose if I take B here, I will put it here. So what I'm trying to do, you know, this way I can construct a full sphere. Where ये ऊपर का part m/2, नीचे m/2. So this will become total mr, na? Does it make sense? See now, from the center, the distances are identical, just like a mirror image. Up and down are reflections of each other, isn't it? If you put a hemisphere on a mirror, what will you see? Full mirror, full sphere, no? The image and the object both will be a full image, will be a full sphere. So the meaning is what? So if you see, since the distances are identical, so moment of inertia of a half hemisphere is as good as a full sphere. So that was a catch. And we know the result for full sphere, how much? 2 by 5 mr square. So some people think like this, sir, full sphere 2 by 5, half sphere should be half. But what you're forgetting is, when you make a full sphere, iska mass bhi double ho jayega na, 2m. See, if half sphere ka mass is m, full sphere ka mass will be how much? 2m, na? So then what will be the moment of inertia? 2 by 5, 2m r square, uska half. So you'll get the same answer. But this is another way of showing it. You can construct, different shapes within half sphere. You can construct a full sphere. Because as long as you keep the distances same, moment of inertia does not change. Since perpendicular distance does not change, moment of inertia remains same. You can use this logic for half disc, half ring, anything half shapes you can use. Put it down.
So you've taken about COM now.
हाँ, about center COM नहीं है, center है.
सर तो सेंटर से थोड़ी ले सकते हैं, सेंटर ऑफ मास लेना पड़ेगा ना मेरे को।
अरे फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन क्या है ये, पढ़ो प्रॉपरली. आई सेंटर कैलकुलेट कर रहा हूँ. वही फुल स्क्वायर का रिजल्ट पता नहीं है क्या? फुल स्क्वायर का रिजल्ट ना ऑलरेडी 2 by 5 mr square. आई एम नॉट फाइंडिंग फॉर ए, ये आई सेंटर है. नाउ यू हैव टू फाइंड फॉर आई ए. अभी आई सेंटर आ गया. Did everyone get the point what I'm trying to say? You take half hemisphere, full hemisphere, answer same है. I'm just trying to tell you that because some people have this notion, sir, half hemisphere तो answer half होना चाहिए. Are you getting my point? So it is like this. I'll just tell you. Suppose full sphere is there, m and r. If you cut this into two pieces, you get half. So this is 2 by 5 mr square. I agree. This will be half of 2 by 5 mr square. I agree because you cut it into half. But what is the catch here? इसका mass कितना होगा? m by 2 ना? But here in the question, see what is given. Hemisphere का mass is only m. Are you getting my point? So full sphere का mass should be how much? 2m ना? Are you getting my point? अगर half hemisphere का mass is m by 2 ना, what you said was right. You should have got half only. But for hemisphere only, you took double the mass. So this will be moment of inertia how much? 2 by 5, 2m r square. इसका half ना? So 2 by m r square only. Are you getting what I'm trying to show? For a full sphere, if you had cut it, you should get half. Agreed. I totally agree with that. But then sphere का mass also should be half. But यहाँ पे half sphere का mass is only m. मतलब full sphere का mass would have been double. So for double का if you make it half, you'll get the same answer. Now find out I about A. Do you remember solid hemisphere का center of mass? People, you need to mug up center of mass का results also. Come again?
3r by 8.
3r by 8, right. Copied.
So what does that point B resemble?
Come again?
That point B?
नहीं, वो सिर्फ मैं डिवाइड कर रहा था पॉइंट्स को. B को B dash, A को A dash. I'm making each point into two pieces now. Just trying to show you distance will remain same. So basically you're creating a second half of the sphere like. Got it? एक हेमिस्फीयर से making two hemispheres, but दोनों का मास आधा आधा हो जाएगा. So I got a full sphere of m and r. Now what is the answer for that? This is center of mass. This is center. This is A. This is slightly tough. They won't ask you this, but they'll ask you that Rinka question. Huh? This is the previous question. This will come again in simple harmonic motion, 32. Remember this. This is 5r by 8. Then the story is same. What is I center? I center of mass plus m into 3r by 8 whole square. What is IA? I center plus mass into 5r by 8 whole square. Subtract them. Because I don't want I center of mass. Then I center is 2 by 5 mr square. IA. This would be mr square by 64. I'll do one thing. 9 by 64 minus 25 by 64. So IA would be 2 by 5 mr square plus that would be 16 by 64 mr square by 4. 13 mr square by 20. Check it out. Okay, next one. Next one. There are some theoretical questions based on this. The moment of inertia about a body is given by I is equal to 3x square minus x plus 7. Find moment of inertia about center of mass. Nothing is given. What body, what shape, radius, nothing is given. They simply said the moment of inertia is depending on x. Then find moment of inertia about center of mass. So what is the catch? How do we approach this?
So by differentiating,
उससे क्या होगा? What are we going to do after that? See, I'll ask you something. Tell me, listen everyone. Suppose if I make this statement in a class, now let's say we all are sitting in a class. Now, this is what I say. Height of the student is the height of the teacher plus distance between them. You're getting? Again, listen to the statement. The height of any student in my class is my height plus distance between me and the student. Okay. Who is the shortest person in the class? The height of a student is the height of the teacher plus distance between the teacher and the student, any student. Then who is the shortest person in the class?
One standing beside the teacher.
Anything else? Better answer.
The
Teacher.
Teacher, na? Teacher is the shortest person in the class. You get my point? Because everyone's height is what? Teacher ka height plus something, na? Then who is the shortest person in the class? Teacher, na? Does it make sense? So similarly here, look at this. You get some very interesting result here from parallaxes theorem. What is moment of inertia about any axis? Moment of inertia about any axis is I center of mass plus something. That means who is the smallest? This guy is the smallest, na? When d is 0, isn't it? Getting it? So the thing is, moment of inertia about any axis ICOM plus something more. This implies ICOM is minimum. Does that make sense? Clear? So then done, na? So it's a maximum minimum problem actually. So indirectly you're asking me to find the maximum and the minimum value of the function. So Kriya, you told the answer without not knowing, but yeah. So you have to differentiate. So 6x minus 1 is 0, x is equal to 1 by 6. Matlab, when you keep x is equal to 1 by 6, you get minimum value. We get I minimum, and we know I minimum is ICOM. That is ICOM. So I center of mass would be 3 into put x is equal to 1 by 6 whole square minus 1 by 6 plus 7. That would be 1 by 12 minus 1 by 12 plus 7. 83 by 12. There. Even without any information about the body, shape, size, anything, you can still figure out. You will get these kind of questions. So, but telling you, right, these kind of questions you should have seen once. Exam, if this comes in, it won't click for anyone. But you should know the concept here. So you can make a statement there. Among all parallel axes, axis through center of mass has minimum moment of inertia. Put that as star and write it properly. It's an important statement. That itself will be a question in the exam. The moment of inertia about center of mass is what? Minimum, maximum, depends on the distance. They can ask like that. Copy. Next one. Next thing. it is observed moment of inertia about certain points. Moment of inertia of a body about certain points. Meaning if you take certain points now, about them the moment of inertia is same. Then the question is, these points lie on what? So options will be like this: straight line, parabola, circle, ellipse. You're getting, so you have some random body. It is observed there are certain points, on these points the moment of inertia is same. So these points are lying on what shape? Circle, parabola, straight line, ellipse. This will be a
Circle.
theoretical question. Why?
So all the distances are similar.
Let's see others. What do you guys think? Hope the question is clear.
So can you explain the question again?
You have a body. It is observed, there are certain points on whom the moment of inertia was same. So ये सब points कहाँ पे, on what shape do they lie? If you join all these points, what shape will you get? See, what is moment of inertia का formula? IA is ICOM plus MD square. That means moment of inertia of a axis is center of mass का moment of inertia plus mass into distance between them. Now, I never really bothered which way is the distance. For example, if you take a circle like this, if you take a point here, what is IA? This distance, na? What if I take this point? Did the distance change? This point, this point, this point, this point. Does this make sense? So the thing is, remember, the orientation does not matter. As long as you keep the distance same, moment of inertia will remain same. Right? So as long as the D is same, I remain same. Now you tell me, from a point, if the distance is fixed, what kind of shape will you get? Circle, na? As long as D is same, I remain same. So the answer would be a circle with center of mass as a center. So your answer is a circle. So for all the points on a circle with center of mass as a center, right, the D will remain same. So the moment of inertia will remain. So 34, 35, these two are theoretical based questions. This is the type of questions you can expect in NEET and MEANS. Theory based. When they say conceptual, they don't. Conceptual means what this one? Put it down. Have a look at this. Copied. Next thing. Turn the page. That is about parallel axis theorem. Next thing is the perpendicular axis theorem. If you see the definition only, perpendicular axis theorem. Before going ahead, there is one condition for this. This is valid only for planar bodies, meaning sheets. So unlike you're saying the parallel axis theorem, which you could use for solid sphere, cylinders, cubes, you can't use all these things for this. You can use it only for sheets. Square plate, rectangular plate, triangular plate, ऐसा plates के लिए only. So what is this theorem exactly? If you have a shape like this, so this is your z-axis. So what this thing tells you now, the moment of inertia Iz is Ix plus Iy. This Z should be an axis perpendicular to plane. These two are axes parallel to the plane, in the plane. Parallel and in the plane. So perpendicular axis theorem statement is this. Moment of inertia about an axis perpendicular to the plane, that is Iz here, is equal to sum of moment of inertia about two axes in the plane and perpendicular to each other. So the main thing is you can use this theorem when you have two axes in the plane. You can't write like this. You can't say Iz plus Iy is Ix. This is wrong. Why? X is not in the plane. X is not perpendicular, na? The perpendicular one is equal to the parallel ones. Are you getting it? So the axis which is perpendicular to the plane will be equal to the axis in the plane. You can't choose any two random axes. It doesn't work. And all should pass to the same point. Put it on. I'll show you an example. So Ix and Iy are in the plane and Iz is perpendicular to the plane. Next thing. Show you an example. Put it on, put it on. Keep your cams on. See example. Take a disk. Like this. You're getting how it is? It is in the plane, not perpendicular. Meaning, if you look at the side view now, it is like this. Your plate is there, na? Kitchen may you get a plate and catch on the diameters. Are you getting how to rotate? Till now we were rotating like this. This is different. This is like just like the Vishnu Chakram. Got the difference how you are rotating it? So here this is axis in the plane. So I passing through center, but it is parallel to the plane. That was perpendicular to plane. So how do we do this thing? First thing. So for this plate, perpendicular to plane, this was Z. This is perpendicular to plane. And you know the answer for this guy. So Iz is mr square by 2. Is that fine? That too we know. Next thing. Now, if you look at the symmetry here, if you take x like this or y like this, Ix is equal to Iy due to symmetry. And you're just turning it by 90 degrees, nothing much. Both are identical. Now, from perpendicular axis theorem, what do you get? Iz is Ix plus Iy. Your Z and X are like this. They're in the plane. So Iz is mr square by 2 and Ix is equal to Iy because of symmetry. So we get Ix is mr square by 4. That means it takes only half of the effort to rotate about the diameter compared to perpendicular. And you can kind of remember this. Most of the time you'll get half as an answer. Whatever is the perpendicular axis now, uska half you get most of the times. Put it on example. I'll give you a similar one. You can try. Copy it. Let's say problem. We have a ring MR about this and about this are two different questions. This is the center. This is A. Both are in the plane. Meaning if you look at this view now, it looks like this. This is the side view, top view. So find IO and IA. Hope you're able to visualize how am I rotating. You have a ring, you're catching the diameter and rotate just like a plate only. The same thing what we did here, we're doing the same thing, but it is a ring. And second part, we are not rotating about the diameter, we are rotating about the tangent. But tangent parallel to this thing. So this is a tangent parallel to the plane. Till now we did this thing, huh? Look at this. This is also tangent perpendicular to the plane. No, this was. Can you see the difference? This is a tangent perpendicular to the plane. This is a tangent parallel to the plane. First find IO, then we'll see IA. Get IO. If you get IO, you will get IA from parallaxes theorem. So we have to use a combination of perpendicular and parallel. First, let's get IO. Hope the question was clear. Any doubts in the diagram, please ask me. Try 2 minutes. First, let's get IO. Just give me a minute. I'll be back. Okay. Today there is some festival, okay? Okay. So people are all going, sending messages. In the house also, my mom is trying to do some puja. I'm blocking her. Hey, the place where I sit, I block the temple actually. Until unless I get up that thing, they can't do any puja there. I said after the class. My dad is waiting with all that mango leaves and all. So, how do we do these things? First, let's look at IO. See, this I know. This is perpendicular to plane about the center, which is MR square. Agreed? These are the perpendicular ones, Y and X. We know IZ is IX plus IY. IZ is MR square. And if you see, both are identical, IX and IY. Does it make sense? IX and IY are identical. See now. You can clearly see here, this is X, this is Y. If you see now, right becomes left and up becomes down. Other than that, they are quite identical. So we got Ix is equal to MR square by 2. Done. That was the first part. Then, second part, Ix is equal to Iy. You know about this axis, Iy. You want about A. Done, na? For parallaxes theorem. This is the I center of mass. So IA, I center of mass plus MR square. 3 by 2 MR square. Does this make sense? So the thing is this, right? Whenever you want to get something in the plane, you have to use perpendicular axis theorem. Whenever you want to shift it left and right, you have to use parallel axis theorem. So using these two theorems, right, you can get multiple combinations of many things. Instead of trying to remember for each and everything, this will help a lot. If you see in the booklet, right, there are some 3 pages of full diagrams. Make sure to by heart them. All different shapes, all different possibilities. But in case you forgot or something changes up, you still know how to do. Put it on. Ask me if there's any doubt on this. Clear. Next thing. Let's see one more. So we have a square plate here. Mass M, side A. I want about this axis. About the edge. We did this thing, no? We did this thing. I want to put this axis. About the diagonal. Get it? So you have a square plate of mass M side A. You're catching the diagonals and rotating it. Find I about the diagonal. Show you. See. You know about the perpendicular. Now, without that result, you won't be able to do anything. This is your IZ. This is your IX. You can take one more perpendicular, na, the other diagonal. That is IY. So it will be like this. The other diagonal is this. You see, both are perpendicular and they're symmetrical. Then you're done. Iz is Ix plus Iy. Iz is how much? Ma square by 6. Ix and Iy are equal because of symmetry. So what is Ix? Ma square by 2. Like I told you, most of them should get half as an answer. Whenever you bring it to plane, you'll get half as an answer. Ix and Iy are sims due to symmetry. And if you see now, this theorem can be used only when there is symmetry, or else it becomes, you can't solve it normally. So that's why you'll always get half, because both are symmetrical, you'll get half. So you can remember that thing in way. Copied? Put it down, put it down. Let's see one more. See. Now the square, right, has some pretty interesting results. Huh? You take an axis like this. This is what we derived. You take an axis like this to the center. You take an axis like anywhere you want. Huh? The best thing, I is same for all. We wrote this thing in the beginning, but again, we will mention it. Quite important. The logic is pretty simple. Let's see. Imagine you have a brownie cake. If you see it is a square shape, you and your sister want to eat it together. So you have to cut it in equal. Na? You cut it any way you want as long as you pass through the center. Observe this, you'll get equal pieces. You take a knife and cut through the center any way you want. You need not cut along the diagonal, cut any way you want. You'll observe any way you cut, you'll get equal pieces. You can't cheat your sister. Are you getting it? See, you want to cut it like this. If you see this piece and this piece are ending, I'm not drawing it properly, but yeah. Does it make sense? That's why the moment of inertia is independent of theta. This is one important thing. Put it up. So this works for square. Turn the page. Next thing. You guys try one more. You have a disk, M and R, about the tangent. Parallel to plane, not perpendicular. Meaning it looks like this from the top view. So it is the same question, huh? This only. Ring ka tangent, I made it disk now. Try 2 minutes. You can use that ring as a reference and solve. Any answers? First time, you need to bring it to the plane. Actually, if you know the result now, you can skip that step. But let me show you. This was Iz, which is mr square by 2. Iy, Ix. So Iz is Iy plus Ix. Mr square by 2 is 2 times Ix. This is the example we did. Ix is mr square by 4. Then you know about this axis. Ix, you want about this axis. And this distance is r. So Ia, and this is out mr square by 4. That is passing to the center of mass plus mr square. 5 by 4 mr square. Check it out. Right, Tane. Check it out. Any step you didn't get, please ask me. Clear with this thing. Next thing. Now there are some shapes, the derivation is not there, but let me show you. You can copy them. So it's a solid cylinder. mass m, radius r, and length l. So for this, if you do about the central axis, the I is given by ml square by 12 plus mr square by 4. So you get the answer as if, this is made of a rod of length L plus a disc. Gives you answer like that. Huh? So the disc answer is mr square by 4 na, in the plane, and the rod guy is ml square by 12. It looks like that answer. So it will be easy to remember in case you forgot. How did mr square by 4 just now be derived? See, mr square by 4 if you're passing through diameter. Same shape. Suppose if you're doing like this, all this stuff are there in the textbook or the notebook also. If you want to put the edge, then expected for a rod it is ml square by 3, and for a disc it is mr square by 4. So it behaves like a rod plus disc, but this time it is about this axis. Looks like. So this is one shape which you have to remember. Put it down. This was asked in JEE 2017. Straightforward question. NEET also, I think they asked it. I don't remember the year. Find moment of finish of a cylinder, mass m, radius r, about the center. That's it. Should know the result. They had different options, but yeah. This to derive this thing, we have to integrate and all. We don't require it. Clear with this thing. Next thing, the another shape. Now, if you remember this rod one, this was ml square by 12 sine square theta. The same thing if you have done like this, not the full rod, we took only half rod, meaning ml but theta about the edge. It would be same thing, ml square by 3 sine square theta. So whenever you do about the edge, it becomes 3. About the center, it becomes 12. But the rod mass is still m and l. It's not exactly, it's the half of the length, but mass is still same. So these are the two things which you should mug up. Meaning you have to mug up a lot in this thing. So this Sunday test, right? You'll have a lot of questions on this moment of inertia only. So make sure to mug up all these things. If you know the results well, papers will be quite easy. You don't remember the results, then it is gone. Next thing. Turning the page. Next thing, we have something called radius of gyration. This is not exactly a big concept. This is actually mostly experimental thing. What is radius of gyration? The distance at which all the mass should be located the symbol is k, okay, to get same moment of inertia as the body. What do you mean by that? Example, let's say you have a disk. Now the radius of gyration says from the axis you're going to keep all the mass at a certain distance k. Like a particle, you take all the mass and put it at a distance k. What is moment of inertia for a disk? Mr square by 2. What is moment of inertia of particle? Mk square. Now if you equate these two, mk square is mr square by 2. We get k is r by root 2. So this is the radius of gyration of disk. If you see, concept is pretty simple. Take the total moment of inertia and write mk square. Whatever is the k ka value, that is the radius of gyration. Put it on. I'll show you one more example. And I'll tell you why we need this thing actually. Meaning we don't use much, but when you go to a lab now, no one will write the shape of the body. You have some shape, they'll write radius of gyration is 1 centimeter. Meaning you can directly take moment of inertia as m into k square. Next thing. I will take one more example. If you take a hollow sphere, what is hollow spherical result? 2 by 3 mr square. So what we are doing, we are keeping all this mass at one point m at a distance k. So what is this moment of inertia? Mk square for a particle. So mk square is 2 by 3 mr square. So radius of gyration is r into root over 2 by 3. This is for hollow sphere. So this thing, you know what? Think about it now. When you go to a lab, why should you put a headache of, is it hollow sphere, solid sphere? The guy who is doing the experiment won't know the result. So you can say moment of inertia of a body is mass into radius of gyration ka square. That's it, straightforward. So you did not ask what is the shape of the body. You can directly take mk square. The example can be written like this. So there is some cylinder. They'll say mass is 100 gram. Radius of gyration is 10 centimeter. Then I is simply mk square. That is 0.1 kg, 0.1 ka square. So 10 power minus 3. You need not ask what shape, what is the thing, anything it could be. So if someone gives you radius of gyration, Meaning you can write mk square as moment of inertia. You are not bothered about the shape. So when you go to a lab and then you see an object, on it will be written two things, mass and k ka value. So even if you forget what shape it is, what is the formula for that shape, it is okay. Answer is mk square, moment of inertia. So that way it helps. So that is called radius of gyration. Not a big thing actually. So for different shapes, you can keep doing it. Put it done. Let's see 1 2 questions on this. Clear then. Copied? Put it on, put it on. Can you do for these two? 39. Solid sphere, radius of gyration for this axis. So if you're rotating about the tangent, k about a. They can ask like this also. It is not always about center of mass. We have a solid sphere, mass and radius are. Find radius of gyration about the center of mass through the diameter. Find radius of gyration about the tangent. Get it? See, this is how much. 2 by 5 mr square is equal to mk square. That's the radius of gyration, the moment of inertia is mk square. So root 2 by 5 r. So this is what I was saying. So solid sphere ke liye it will be written like this. K is equal to the 0.1 or something. That 0.1 is 2r by 5. So when you square it now, you'll get the 2 by 5 mr square only, but that is included in the problem. Next, what about this guy? First, about the center of mass, you have to find IA first. So IA is ICOM plus mr square. that is 2 by 5 mr square plus mr square, that is 7 by 5 mr square. Then you're done. So IA is 7 by 5 mr square is equal to mk square. So k is root over 7 by 5 r. Does it make sense? So you have to find whatever is the moment of inertia and equal to mk square. If someone asks you find radius of gyration, indirectly is asking you to find I ka value only. End mein you have to put I is equal to mk square and get k ka value. That is the only catch. Clear? Put it up. So with that, we're done with the moment of inertia part. Put it down. Next thing. Rolling motion. So with that, we're done with the second part, moment of inertia. So now you know how to calculate torque, you know how to do moment of inertia. So if you know these two things properly, right, that is almost 50-60% of the problem. So what is this rolling motion? So this is actually kind of like what we did in projectile also. What we do, we study rolling motion by resolving the motion into pure translation, into the translation and rotation. I'll tell you what it means. Rotation about center of mass. So if you have a cyclic wheel which is going with V and also rotating with omega, you can split this motion into two pieces, V and omega, meaning as if the wheel is just sliding like a translation, and here the wheel is just rotating like a fan. But in reality, the points are going like this. And best example would be this. If you're standing in a lift, okay, let's say you're standing in a lift, fan is not rotating. Okay. When the lift is going up, how is the fan going? Fan is not rotating. Okay. If the lift is going up, how is the fan going? Translation or rotation? Translation, no? All are going in straight lines, isn't it? Suppose you're standing inside the lift and the fan is only rotating. Lift is not going up and down. Fan is on. How will the particles go circle? No? If the fan is rotating and the lift is going up, then they'll go like this. No? Can you see what I'm trying to say? So you can, study the motion of the fan by assuming the center of the fan is going in a straight line and the fan is rotating about the center. So don't try to do both at the time. It will get very confusing like this. How will you study this? But if I say, you know how to study straight line? You know. Do you know how to study circle? You know. Then I know both of them ka combination. No? Does that make sense? So we study rolling motion, right, by splitting the motion into translation and rotation. Put it down. So how to do that, how we handle that, that we'll be seeing in the next class. So we